Hello everyone, welcome back to CCSP certified channel. Today I'm going to discuss about REST versus SOAP. Very important topic for exam perspective, not only for CCSP, for CISSP also. So minimum 2 questions you can expect in CISSP from this topic and 3 to 4 questions in CCSP. Even in my exam, I have seen 4 questions from REST and SOAP. So it is part of domain 4 and I'm covering this as part of the topic 6 lecture 2. So if you are new to my channel, I would like to inform that I have already completed topics like encryptions, IAM, cloud characteristics, risk in the cloud, and the international laws and standard before this. So I have covered 80% syllabus from these 5 topics. Now the last topics, which is miscellaneous going on, I will cover remaining 20% of the syllabus. So my focus in this video series to help you get further faster in your CCSP exam certificate, and how I have planned to do this by covering the high probability exam topics and discussing the difficult exam concept, because soundness of concept is very important to clear any of the ICS score exam, especially CCSP. And also the question bank from the various sources. One of the important source of my teaching is my candidate feedback, memory base, as I do conduct classes also. I do refer them. I refer question banks of official question bank and some sample question banks to prepare this video series. Also, I will try to use my 15 years of IT experience, CCSP and CISSP and other cloud certification learnings to make things simple and easy for you. Many candidates ask me whether this teaching or the video series is sufficient for exam. Yes, it is free and sufficient. But in case you want comprehensive and effective approaches that has worked for me and my candidate, you may join regular batches or purchase self-paced training recording. You may refer my LinkedIn account. I will share the detail of my LinkedIn account in this video descriptions to see my candidate feedback. Next page I am starting for CISSP exam. That will be a weekend page from 3rd March onward. It may go to 22nd of April, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. IST. So if you are interested, you can write me at the ccsp-certified at the gmail.com or WhatsApp me on this number. In case you want to enroll for self-paced training program of CCSP, you can reach me on these numbers. You can get the content, video recording and question bank on very nominal price. Let me know in case you are interested. CISSP you can enroll for the next batch that is starting next month. So we start the topic, which is REST versus SOAP. Very important, very easy. Just a quick recap of what you know already. So SOAP is a protocol specification and for exchanging structured information in implementation of the web services. So when you implement a web service, there is a protocol specification that's known as SOAP that we use, and SOAP use WSDL language, that is web service description language. So what this language is all about is not important for exam perspective. As I informed before also, CCSP does not expect you to be master of all this concept. They expect you at least you have a fair idea of the topic, and you are may not be master of all, but at least you have a fair idea of each of the concepts. So SOAP, just remember protocol specification, use WSDL, where REST is the architecture style and it consists of the guidelines and the best practices for creating scalable web services. So they may give this as one of the option what is correct about the REST. So you should remember that it is an architecture style and consisting the guidelines and the best practices for creating a scalable web services. So there are differences between REST and SOAP, and advantage and disadvantage also. So we'll see this in this video lecture. So one quickly, that SOAP is a bulky response when a client sends a request to the server. If you see, client can simply send data to the server, it is a REST. But if with the data, there is a SOAP standards that we have seen that in case of SOAP, a data become bulky when it reaches to the servers. So SOAP need more bandwidth and has a more security than REST. We'll see more comparison over the slide, but keep this picture in the mind. It helps us to solve many of the questions. SOAP is not only simple data, but along with data, some SOAP standards are embedded, and the data of the server will be huge and bulky compared to the REST. Now we just quickly discuss the APIs, because all REST and SOAPs are used to create the APIs. So what is APIs? We just a Facebook example. If Facebook has exposed the APIs which is being used by a client application, and they can do interaction with the APIs. So API is a application programming interface. So simple definition of API is a set of routines, protocols, and tools for building software applications. So an API specifies how software components should interact with each other. A good API make it easy here to develop a program by providing all the building blocks. A programmer then put the blocks together. So API can be login API, create a post API, like a post API, share a API. So all this can be done remotely also if Facebook or any other client expose the API. So APIs are written either in the SOAP or the REST framework. So before this we come to the REST and SOAP, I quickly discuss about the stateful and stateless, because the HTTP protocol that is being used as a inter layer in these protocols is HTTP, and that is can be and there is HTTP is a stateless protocol. So what is stateful and stateless? We quickly discuss this. So state is the so let's say you to bank to open an account, and you go to bank and say, sir, I want to open an account, my name is this, I live here, I want to open a saving account. So they will give a form back to you. You complete this form, attach the photographs, and come back us tomorrow. You again go tomorrow, they say, who are you, what you want? Again you have to repeat, sir, I came yesterday, I came to open the bank account, this is my detail. They said okay. They said that, okay, come after 3 days, then we'll inform you whether bank account is open or not. After 3 days, again, if you don't, they don't recognize you, they ask you who are you, then you get irritated. And this is how stateless works. So stateless server does not maintain the state of the previous discussion or interaction happened with you. So whenever you go every time, say hello, my name is XYZ, I came here for this purpose, I visited yesterday also. So they don't remember the yesterday discussion. They ask you please share all the inquiry again. And this is how the stateless server works. But stateless servers is painful, but has an advantage over stateful, that stateful server need to maintain the resources, additional resources. If they need to remember your old inquiry, they have to maintain your record somewhere in the file or in the computer, and that would need additional resources. So there was a disadvantage with the stateful server, is that it was needing more resources and has a limited scalabilities. So when there is a more and more requests, the resources on the server will be consumed. It will not able to operate fully. So to solve this problem, stateless protocols came in the picture, which does not maintain the state of the that request. So every time when client comes, it does not it has to bring something, so that identify whether it was a repeated request or new request. Here the concept of cookie evolved. So cookie is same like a signed paper given by the bank staff. So when you go first time, they write everything on the paper and signed it back to you, that next time you come, just come with the paper and show us the paper, we'll read the paper, we know where the detail was, what was the conversation, and we'll resolve accordingly. So first day they have documented all your problem statement or all your inquiry. Next day you come, they will read it, update it again with the new conversation happened between you and the bankers. Let's say they said that server is down, comes after 3 days. You again visited after 3 days. They again mention in the paper that that you are missing some documents or your civil is not correct. Go and update, get it updated. Like this conversation is maintained in the cookies, and every time you bring the cookies back to the server. So and this is how the HTTP server works. So when the request comes to the client to the server, response is sent back to the server. And the second request comes, HTTP server may say that we don't know you. You have to bring the cookies. If the cookies are valid, we can validate the cookie and identify who are you. So this is how there is no need to remember. Server don't need to remember. There is no resource problems reach to the servers, and even the interaction happens smoothly between the client and servers with the stateless protocols and introduction of the cookies or tokens or some reference numbers. So even though I maintain your paper with me, but you give me the reference number so I can fetch your detail from that paper, and SR number or reference number I can use to identify this one. So this is how the HTTP protocol works, but why we are discussing here in the REST and the SOAP, because of the reason the REST and SOAP concept will use it. Same way the XML will discuss now, which is the last concept before we discuss the comparison between the REST and the SOAP. The XML, because XML is very important, and all these REST and SOAPs are built upon the XML only. The XML is essential markup language. XML is markup language that provides rules to define any data. So there are some properties of the XML. XML is designed to store and transport the data, was created to provide an easy way to use and store the self-descriptive data. It is not a replacement of the HTML. It's nothing to do with the HTML. HTML has own language. XML has own use case. Even the SAML use XML to, if you already remember about the Federation Protocol SAML, that use XML to exchange this token or information between the identity provider and service provider. So XML is designed to be self-descriptive. XML is designed to carry data, not to display data. It is not UI display. So XML data is not user-friendly readable data. It is just to carry the data. It is platform independent and language independent. So it can be run on any OS, any language, any version of that resources or servers. That is the advantage of XML. Now very important, this table. So from this table you will expect at least 2 to 3 questions from this table itself. So just to remember that this table is very important to example, and just remember following items that I am discussing. REST use HTTP protocol, which we have just seen. REST only use HTTP protocol, and only interaction between client and servers happen over HTTP, whereas SOAP use envelope and then HTTP. So even it can use FTP, SMTPs, because SOAP envelope may have these protocols, and HTTP in the end they use HTTP to transfer the data, and it supports many different format like JSON, XML, YAML, etc. I have just discussed what is XML format. So mainly the JSON is being used, widely used in the case of REST, but REST can use JSON, XML, YAML, and other. But SOAP only use XML format that we just discussed. Now and we just discussed that HTTP is a stateless protocols. So REST only work on the stateless function. But since SOAP using along with the HTTP, FTP, SMTP also, so it can be stateless and stateful protocol both. So SOAP support both type of that stateless and stateful conversation, but REST only support stateless. Also performance wise, it is, as we seen, that it is a simple data, but in SOAP it was a bulky boy. It was data along with the standard, so it is performance and the scalabilities are good, and it also use caching for the storing the data or the responses. It's slower in the performance, scalability can be complex, and caching is not possible in the SOAP. It used TLS or SSL certificate. We already discussed in the IAM sections and the encryption sections. Do revise in case you have doubt on the TLS or SSL communication. But it used TLS or SSL for data protection during the transfer. When the transfer happened between client and servers, these protocols provide the security. But SOAP use additional security as a WS security, and that's why industry where the banking or the critical data are used, still SOAP is used and preferred over the REST because of the security purpose. Otherwise, REST has a more performance, scalability, use case widely used, and best to use in industry. So normally REST is SOAP is used where REST is not possible to use or the security is a concern. And REST web service inherits security measure from underlying transport security that we have already discussed. It uses own security. It requires less bandwidth. It requires more bandwidth. And there is one more advantage in SOAP. It has a error corrections. So error, it can packet can be resent in the case of REST. If there is a error occur, packet need to be resent. But SOAP, it will be auto detected and auto corrected in case of error occurs. So this for the theory part. We'll cover the question now. So first question, Which of the following best represent the definition of REST? So how you define the REST? Is it built on the protocol standards that we have seen? Is it a lightweight and scalable that we have seen? Is heavily rely on the XML and only support XML output? So we have seen that uh, it is a lightweight and scalable, which is the right answer because the build on the protocol standard is a property of SOAP. We have seen that it is a protocol standard where its REST is the architecture style, and it is not heavily rely on the XML because it uses JSON and YAML and others also, and only SOAP only support XML, but REST supports other than XML also. So answer will be B. So this type of similar or easy question will come in the exam. You just need to remember the table that I have just shown to you. Which is following is true about the REST. REST supports JSON, XML, YAML. REST supports implement WS service. REST is stateful and does not require the caching. So we have seen that it used caching. It is stateless, and WS security or WS services are used in the SOAP. So answer is A. Which does not What does the REST API use to protect the data transmissions? We have seen that data transmitted between client and server. REST use the underlying protocol, that is TLS protocols, to support. So answer will be C. That is straightforward, but if you don't know the concept, you will not able to give the answer. What is the only data format permitted with the SOAP API? So which is only data format the SOAP API support, which we have seen is XML. It does not support anything apart from the XML. Very easy questions. This type of questions you will see in the exam. Last one is exam question, which is not that line by line questions written as come the exam because it's memory based questions, but very good questions. What is not a characteristics of the REST? So sometimes they give this type of questions also where all other characteristics looks good to you, and then you identify something odd one out. So we have seen this. It is lightweight and scalable. It supports HTTP protocols. It is stateless. But regarding the OWASP guidelines, they are only for web vulnerabilities. They are not for REST and SOAP. So answer will be C. But in some time in exam you get confused whether OWASP and REST are interlinked or not. So though we will cover the OWASP in the subsequent lectures in the miscellaneous sections in detail. But just to inform you that OWASP is only for the web vulnerabilities. It provides top 10 vulnerabilities every 2 or 3 years, and recently it was published in 2021. So we'll discuss those in detail in subsequent lecture, but this type of easy questions come in exam from the REST and SOAP. So that's for today. Do write me at the ccsp-certified@gmail.com or WhatsApp me on the +91 83700 to share any feedback. And in case you like it, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.